I'm Hikylabur and welcome back to Hikylabur, where I'm realizing my potential while protecting my mental. Thank you for showing up today as I continue to invite you to feel real still. Feel all that you are, show up as your authentic self, and be present because that is all that we have. Take a moment to sit back, whether you're on the road, cleaning up, whatever you're doing in this moment. I hope these words reach you in the ways that they may. May I speak to you? Hopefully, you're able to connect with my topic today. Today, I'm talking about in motion, inspired by Newton's first law, and also something my father tells me every day. Just keep moving. Something's going to eventually give. But I'm talking about being in motion as a reminder to myself and those that can hear me, whether you're a fellow college student, you're in your life and you don't know what's going to be next, you're just going with the flow. But I want you to remain intentionally, short for intentional, in motion, rather than saying intentional motion, but make intentional strides towards where you want to be and continue to have your vision in mind. Now, this is a reference from my previous gym routine. I say previous because I've been a little out of whack this semester, this season of my life, as I've been trying to figure some things out. And as I've quoted in previous episodes, to luxuriate in this moment, which I think I have been doing very well, but I don't think I can do that quite yet. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Well, I moved to my couch because that was kind of the whole switch up, but I've switched my place around. For example, I've added some decor to make this more me. Let's give you a little tour.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life moves fast when you do what you want. At this time, doing what I want. Hope you doing what you want. What you want.
I've decorated my apartment a little bit. I only have 3 months left here. I've been here 4 months. And why did I wait so long? I wanted to at first use it literally as a living space and a podcast studio. But then I thought about it as I kept running past my pictures that were up in my dorm and looked at the bareness of this place. I was like, why not enjoy it while I have it? And hopefully everything falls in line. I remain in motion. I'll be able to have my own place again and make it even more personalized. So what am I talking about in motion? I'm talking about being intentional with your actions. I was talking about my gym routine before I did all of this moving, but I like this better anyway. So let's stay focused. I had my light attached to my mirror because I broke it. But this is more of a meditative space. Hello, I'm Hikylabur, and welcome back to Hikylabur, where I'm realizing my potential while protecting my mental. Thank you for showing up today as I continue to invite you to feel real still. Feel all that you are, show up as your authentic self, and be present, because that is all that we have. I say that with a pause because we want to be present and show up as we can in every moment, right? When thinking of this episode, I thought of my gym routine. There's a principle that I would practice of persistence when I run on the treadmill. Within my gym routine, I used to run a mile every session, right? I want to run a mile, but my thing was, I'm not going to say I want to run a mile at 7 speed or higher or lower. It was no parameters. It was just, I want to run. And that was also at the time where I had just become comfortable to run again after tearing my meniscus. I tore my meniscus about a year and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken. It was a while ago, but it was junior year. And when you have pain or tears with ligaments, you have to be careful because they stick with you. And while running on the treadmill, I had to be mindful of my knee due to previous injury, and I didn't want to hurt myself again, especially considering that I tore my meniscus doing jumping jacks. But that's another story. So while running, I would pace myself, and the only thing I told myself was, once you start running, you must remain in motion. Now you can slow down, but I'm gonna need you to jog. I'm gonna need you to keep moving because we are trying to reach a goal. Whether it's I'm trying to leave the gym or complete the exercise, which was to run a mile. And I thought about that as I have been encouraging myself lately, and especially reflecting on this semester as I've chosen to luxuriate in this moment, was to just stay in motion. The time between now and when I'm supposed to graduate is going to pass anyway. So what can I be doing in between this time to make sure that I'm moving forward, remaining in motion, but also taking care of myself along the way? This semester has been my least academically engaged semester. I say that because I was no longer excited to go to class. Now, I'm not going to say that I was the perfect student, but probably last semester through college in general up until now, my statement, my proud, loud and proud, I love school. And I was like, I don't see why people don't like school. I can go to, well, I wasn't that green, I get it. But I was like, this is my jam. I like to go to class. I like to participate. I like to study. Speaking of study, I'm taking my graduation pictures next week, and I'm taking them in the library because I was like, what better place? That's the place on campus that I've spent most of my time besides a dorm or any classroom, was in the library. So it's only fitting. Anyway, back to the present moment, school being my jam, and this semester being my least engaged. So much so. I was about to jump back to something, but that's neither here nor there. Also, this semester, I've journaled the least. I started journaling freshman year, and I've kept a journal every year. And this one, I just didn't feel moved to journal as much. And I wasn't going to make myself because I'm not that type of person. I feel like it wouldn't be as authentic, and it's not supposed to be a chore, but rather something you choose as an outlet. And recently I've picked up my journal again and have been wanting to reflect more. But in my time of luxuriating, I've made intention to continue to go to class, take advantage of those days. For example, like my music class, we had 3 days that he didn't care what you were doing with them. I took them gladly because I needed a break sometimes. And through this newness of no longer feeling attuned to my major, computer science, or I'm not gonna say having a college degree because I've appreciated my time in college, but the whole concept of college and how we don't learn some things, but some things are pushed. And then when you get out of college, what do you do now? Especially considering the statistics around people who have this amount of debt and then they regret their college degree. But that's not my story. My story is in that this semester has been the weirdest, the most different of them all, as I've kept moving towards this goal of graduating college. I have realized that I've become someone new. I feel grown now, and I feel more comfortable in my skin, but I also feel more aware in this world and what it's about, and trying to find meaning in it, and especially in the decision that I'm making, because this is something new, not only for me being 21, being that I'm about to graduate college. This is all new, but it's like also new that I am choosing to do something different that maybe my mentors or professors or some of my peers aren't doing. And if you couple remaining in motion with intention, then you find something like I found in college, a journey of introspection. During my freshman year, the most touching statement that I heard was, I want you to become someone that you weren't when you entered this college. The speaker prompted, I want you to be able to ask yourself, when you graduate, am I the same person that I walked into this college as? And through my reflection, I can proudly, humbly say no, because I have found newness. I've grown. I am grown. Through this moment of my life of luxuriating, I've allowed myself to just be still. I've kept moving, such as going to class, doing my work, and thinking about my actions before doing them, which is the difference between intentional motion and just remaining in motion. I believe they're both inherently good because you're moving towards something, you're going in a direction, some direction, whether you intend to get there or not. And even in those moments of unintentional direction where you're just going through the motions, sometimes you end up places that you didn't know you were going to end up in, and that's okay. But I bring up my gym story again to say it was a rule of pace, to pace myself through an exercise, through running on the treadmill, especially because I have a bad knee. I don't care how you run it. You can jog, that little two-step. You see those ladies that be on the Or sometimes men that be on the treadmill, they're drenched, but they're not even moving that fast. They're just a little jog. But they're doing that, of course, over like 30 minutes, and then they get that sweat going. But I told myself that counts as running, maybe slow running, but you're running. So even if you need to slow down, even if you get tired, you feel like you can't go anymore towards this mile, you can slow down a little bit, but you're still moving and you're still going to get there. So I coupled this example with the concept of time in the way that we measure it, is that time is going to pass anyway. So as you continue to move throughout life, I encourage you to move with intention, whether that's slow, whether that's at a faster pace. Like, let's say I consider faster pace as someone who may have the capacity to take on more, or in the context of speed, to go faster in the context of the analogy rather. But I encourage you to move with intentional motion. And this is your reminder, your place of connection, of someone who is grappling with their position in life, but also who is persisting. Just keep going. You may not know where you'll end up, where it's going to go, but I encourage you to keep going. Remember that your journey is yours. Where someone else is where they are. I was reminded of this today in my class, actually. I was talking to my professor and was telling him, well, on one hand, I think I should do this. On another hand, I want to do this, but I don't know how. I don't know what that's going to look like. And that's the whole part of the discomfort and uncertainty. And I stated next, my peers are doing this. And he was like, that has nothing to do with you. That's what they're doing. But what are you doing? This is a perfect place to say, stay in your lane, because where you're going is truly where you are going. And that's all dictated by what you believe you can have, your mindset and belief system about what can be available to you, how your future is going to look. If you are seeking a dystopian future, then most likely you will have experiences in life that align with that. But if you continue to see your vision and remind yourself that you already have everything you need to get where you want, opportunities are plentiful. You just have to observe them and kind of look at them in a different perspective and think you deserve them. And so as you continue to remain in motion, intentionally moving in the direction of where you see for yourself, as you're seeking for yourself, continue to believe, define clearly what you want. I say that all the time, but I forget myself because I'm no exclusion to doubt and comparison at times. But none of that is worth it, because every time that I can think of something that I've worried about, I worried for nothing, because everything eventually worked out as I kept moving, I kept going. And as I leave this message, as I'm looking in the mirror at myself, I solely believe before you can change anyone, love anyone, that starts with you. So I share that to me, to you, as my reflection, as you clicked on this for some reason. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to you. I hope you are having a beautiful week. It is not Monday. It is Wednesday. But that's all about it. It's all about persisting. It's all about continuing to move, keep going, keep showing up, keep running, even if that is a low jog. All that to say, pace yourself. Remain in motion. That is intentional motion. You got this. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Bye.